Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Amazing Spider-Man issue number 65. There's a thing that happens in this book where if there is not a payoff for this, I'm going to say the whole freaking series was a complete waste. Not really, but kind of. Let's get to talk about who made this comic book. We'll go on from there. Nick Spencer is the writer. Now, here's this. Federico Vincentini with Federico Sabatini does the art. Now, my problem is not necessarily that Alex Sinclair does the colors in here, but it's the fact that Federico Blee does not do the colors. Like, why not have all three Federicos just boom, and then like Nick Spencer is the odd man out because you're not a Federico. Hell, you're not even a Madrox. Oh, I went there. Anyway, so Alex Sinclair does the colors. VC's Joe Caramagna on letters. Mark Bailey, John Dell, and Brian Rebert does the cover art, and Anthony Gambino on design. From the Gambino crime family, what? Okay, that's not a joke that you should really make with us Italians. We really don't like that usually. So Spider-Man was Steve Ditko, and hey, we can't forget frickin' Stan Lee, who came up with the idea and just boom, killed it. Absolutely killed it. Shopped that baby around. And we have got one of the absolute greatest characters in all of comic book history because of that. Not even just comic book history. Hell, I'll put Spider-Man against Othello any day of the week. So what do we have here? We got the Romeo and Juliet story continuing. Cool. And there's a very fun ending with that. It's almost good cop, bad cop, or buddy cop, tragedy. Turner and Hooch, for crying out loud, with Robbie Robertson and Tombstone in this. Like, it's really fun seeing these two together. At one point, the whole reverse psychology, really, that's where we're going to do this. It was great. They're bonding with each other, and it felt natural. It really did. I almost feel like it could have gone on longer. They could have dragged it out a little bit longer to really feel the switch, right? But, oh my God, dude, if these two eventually wind up getting married, if these two kids wind up getting married, seeing these two fathers, like, I'm telling you right now, the Red Wedding could kiss my ass. Because just the speeches that these two fathers are going to give are going to blow anything Game of Thrones has ever done out of the water, bro. I'm talking like depth charges. Boom, boom, boom. That's going to be freaking awesome. So much of this is great. We're 2 issues away. Let me show you this cover for 2 issues from now. Freaking amazing, beautiful ass cover. Oh, it's right towards the end, actually, if I'm remembering correctly. It's right before this. Yeah, right here. This is for issue number 67, right? So 2 issues from now, this is going to be the cover. Oh my God. Oh my God, I can't wait. But this King's Ransom and seeing the Syndicate versus the Sinister Six, and oh my God, I can't wait. I cannot wait to see this. Plus, dude, listen. Whose idea was it again? Wasn't that Soule, Charles Soule, who came up with the idea to make Kingpin, the Wilson Fisk, the mayor of New York City? Because I'm telling you right now, this feels like something that freaking they should have done way back in the Silver Age of the comics, I mean, I guess it wouldn't have worked quite the same because you got to establish the Kingpin as the bad guy first, and seeing him as the mayor of New York City in the Frank Miller Daredevil verse, I don't see it as being quite the same, but this just feels like the perfect idea, the perfect role for the Kingpin. The humble spice dealer, we're past that. This mother fathead needs to be the king, right? The true king, not just the Kingpin. He needs to be all of the freaking bowling pins. Man. Oof. His role in this is spectacular. Seeing little bits and pieces, like, this is the issue that makes me think with Norman. And mind you, I got to complain about the art just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. The Federicos in this, Sabatini and Vincentini, anyway, the Federicos, they kind of make Harry, or see what I did there? They kind of make Norman look like Harry in this. Norman looks way too young in this book. I'm looking at this as like, that's not Norman, that's Harry. I don't know what to tell you. That's Harry. I know they're saying one thing, but what are you going to believe? Me or your lying eyes? Like, no, believe your truthful eyes. That looks like Harry. I have to go with that. But Kindred is over here and he's like, Father, please. And you know what I'm thinking. Because, like, there's not the Emperor's electricity flying at this guy. By the way, happy May the 4th. Just ended about 45 minutes ago, but you get the gist. What do you call it? It's not the Emperor, now young Skywalker, you will learn the error of your ways, you little punk ass bitch. No, this is literally like Luke Skywalker pleading to Darth Vader while he's being force lightning, Father, please. Poor Mark Hamill, I felt so bad for him during that time. And that's exactly what winds up happening here. Freaking Kindred, he's being blasted with all this making demons scream stuff by Mordo, and he's all like, Father, please. I'm like, I read this on May the 4th. My life is complete. No, it's not. I still need to see more things. Like the one thing that happens in here. Bullseye. Twice now, at least. They've shown Bullseye. And I'd been talking about this for a while. I said, we've seen almost all of Spider-Man's villains come over into Daredevil at some point. We hardly ever, if ever, see a Daredevil villain going over to the Spider-Man world. We got Bullseye up in here. Now, it just sounds perfect. The guy who never misses with the guy who can kind of predict the future with danger. Every so often, a Marvel character has to die. Every so often, a character in the comics has to die. And yeah. They'll come back at some point. But with everything that they've done with Bullseye, with Boomerang, would it be kind of sick if they actually killed him? I think Spencer's got it in him to do that. He turned Captain America into Hydra agent, goddammit. He could kill a character like Boomerang. I can almost see the Bar of No Name having, this one is on the house. I think it could be a really good moment. Spencer look, man, art, fantastic. Moving on. Spencer just has this way of, he knows the characters and he'll retell you the origin of these characters and the personality, the psych profile of these characters. And you're just like, yeah, I know all of this stuff, but there are no mistakes. And in a world where we constantly get people, writers, giving us versions of the characters where we're just like, he wouldn't do that. What? It's so refreshing to see Nick Spencer do what writers should do. It's amazing seeing this guy's craft right before our eyes, just seeing this guy doing stuff, man. Wow. There's a lot of really good, fun moments in this comic book, and there's a lot of moments where you see the future bearing down on you. I'm telling you, listen. I understand that we're used to the idea of a lot of short story arcs where it's just whatever. But I'm going to tell you something, and you tell me where's the lie. Just for this moment, you tell me if I speak any lies in the following statement. The idea that Spencer is doing continuous storytelling, arcs practically mean nothing in this because nothing's going to end. We're going to get things that were left alone that we'd forgotten about coming back, and then sometimes again, and storylines that they keep coming back to haunt the main character. Spider-Man doesn't have to be the focus on everything here. The biggest part about Spider-Man in here was, hey, you having that stupid costume on is costing you, bud, because right now, the only thing that everybody feared, Madame Mask and all that, and Crime Master, that, Spider-Man's going to drop in. But no, we can track him on the superhero app. He's way across town. He won't be here anytime soon. Like when you start to see the detriments of new stuff and new equipment and stuff like that, Vietnam soldiers, when they were issued the M16, the M16A1, practically begged to get their, I think it was an M1 Garand back. They practically begged to get their Garand back. Was it a superior weapon? The people there will say yes, it was. But at the end of the day, it's more about the idea that this is a weapon that we know how to use. We weren't trained how to use the M16, right? So the continuous storytelling, if you do not like the continuous storytelling that Nick Spencer is doing, wait a second and ask yourself, How different is it from what Chris Claremont did? All those years, practically 2 decades, you tell me how this is that much different from what Claremont did. You might want to do a snarky little comment like, when Chris Claremont did it, it was good. I understand if you don't like something. I get it. But me critically thinking my way through a comic book as opposed to just, ooh, comic bad, meh. You know, saying that's, yeah. I feel like this is exactly what Claremont did. Different storytelling on the individualistic basis, but the idea of telling a continuous story. If the biggest gripe that you have is that there's no ending to anything, it's just a continuous thing, yes, exactly like what Chris Claremont was trying to do. Here's just a story that keeps on going, because at the end of the day, our lives aren't in chapters. We'd like to think that they are, and we can neatly pack them away, but that's not how we're approaching them. That's not how they happen, right? There is no one chapter closes and another opens. That almost never happens. Your life just continues. And all the chaos and the hectic nonsense and whatnot, right? And it's great to see this real life version, this real life take on a comic book superhero character. Why would Peter Parker get any real rest? Right? This is just one of the things that I really appreciate about reading something that Nick Spencer does. I'm always enamored by what he brings to the table. The guy is just fantastic. And again, as usual, I'm looking forward to this comic book. One of the comic books that just sells better than most of the other comic books. And what's special about the comic book? You believe it. You believe that a man can fly or stick to walls, you know, whatever, same difference. Anyway, guys, like the video, watch an ad, and enjoy. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.